Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Urban Empire. And it looks like income is actually quite good right now, even though we did just add in the gas infrastructure. And as I thought, it seems like that actually helped us quite a bit because I think it benefited these businesses over here. At least that's my assumption. So what I would like to do now is add in a couple more services. So let's first start with first, and we're going to modify this district. And we're not going to do anything here because I don't think we can afford the density yet because that was a quite expensive thing. Actually, out of curiosity, no, we don't have the demand for it. So let's just continue here. I would like the water pipes, at least in our in the first district here. So we'll do that. It's going to cost 750,000. Ooh, we can't quite afford that. I mean, they would. It looks like vote for it, although we haven't actually seen that necessarily yet. Well, let's be patient. We can't quite afford it yet, so we'll just be patient. And we'll let the money rack up, which it is doing. Residential domain continues to go up. Oh, there, dropped down a little bit as people are moving in. So our demands, we don't really have much going on here. So we don't really need to expand any more than we have. You know, I could add gas over here, right? Because from what I remember, it is cheaper than it was before. Again, they may have done a patch since the last time I played, which was on the launch day. Because I could just buy this with my own money, and then 11K a month we could afford, and it will help this district overall. So let's activate the grid. We'll confirm it. Should I add in gas lights? Because we could afford that too. And this is very residential, so I think it makes sense to have gas lights. So we'll do that as well. And then I won't be able to afford that though. So I'm going to cancel this because we actually can afford the water now. As a matter of fact, so let's go ahead. We'll modify this district. Firm zoning. Add in the water, now that we have it. Yeah, all that looks good. We'll activate grid. I'm not going to put in the sewer system yet because I have a feeling that this is going to cost us even more money. So, for now, we're not going to activate that, but I would like to. And then that should be good. So, we'll confirm infrastructure. Looks like it will pass, so I'm not going to have to fight too hard for it. Confirm the services. Eventually, I would like a theater, though, too. See, that's a good question. Do we get a theater, or do we get the infrastructure? I think theater, because if you see here, city average fund is really low. Yeah, you know what? That's what we're going to do. I know I'm going back and forth here, but I actually kind of forgot about that. All right. Now we know for sure what we're going to do. We're going to be going into this district, which has no services. It's very residential, though, so I think it's a good idea to put that theater in there. We're going to modify the district. We're going to go through all of these. We're going to pass over most of them. But we're going to go straight onto the theater. And we're going to put it in a place where it is going to cover... Trying to find a place we could put it that wouldn't be too problematic. We'll put it right about here. That's going to cover all of this district and most of the next one, at least right now. Oop. And plop it down quite. Fortunately, the roads and things are not quite square here, so difficult not to just demolish a whole bunch of stuff. I'll put it right here, I guess. And then looks like it will pass. I might have to do a little bit of moving to get things to go. The monthly cost, though. Like, the problem is, services-wise, I could probably get most of these things to pass in most of the cities, the gas, the water, and what have you. Or I could build this theater. So it's an either-or thing, and that's where I kind of have a little bit of problems. But you know what? We'll go with the theater, because that's the one thing that we're kind of lacking in the city. So we'll confirm. We're not going to rename the district. Propose. I can't obviously afford this. We could go with a quicken vote because this is clearly going to pass. We'll go ahead and do that. City Council begins discussion. Let's go and take a look at that. It looks like it's going to pass easily, so I'm just going to let that go. All right. We'll have ourselves a theater. We'll address the one shortcoming in our city. We'll also be addressing the health and physical environment and some security things with the services if we ever get them. Oh, the vote's already there. So we'll begin the voting. I'm wondering how much prestige it takes to overrule a decision, because I think you need prestige to be able to do that. Okay, well, that's been passed, so there's the theater. And we're going to see happiness go up. And we'll have to see how that affects our monthly budget, though. It could be a positive. But now we're not making quite as much. All right, what we got here? The Democratic Party appreciates you so much that you're invited to give a speech in the party's convention. Sure, why not? So, goodwill measures. All right, goodwill. There was a pop-up there that I didn't catch before I did this. All right, the city administration is focusing on how the natural rights of men are taken account of in modern cities. Do you wish to pay special attention to vagrants or criminals? Ooh. The question is, what am I doing here? Rights of man. Am I giving these people rights? Or am I going after them? I'm going to go after vagrants. Okay, effect. Money that citizens can use on private companies. Okay, I guess. So it gives these guys more pocket change, I guess. People are happy. Things are going okay. We're not making a ton of money. Got a wayward son. Your son, Simon, has grown up to be a strong young man and skilled in various arts from musketry to noble manners. He has on the whole been obedient, but now he is about to cause a disgrace. He has taken a liking to a merchant's daughter and says he will marry her. Of course, that is out of the question. When the time comes, you will find him a suitable wife of noble origins. You must proceed quickly to prevent further shame. Okay, immediately break off the relationship, makes him a pessimist, or use reason and paternal advice. No, we're cruel. We are iron-handed. We're going to do this. Simon didn't take your intervention well, but you piled on endless weapon practices, military strategy lessons, and even physical work, so he had no time or energy to think about the girl anymore. All right, so we gain a little bit more cruelty, it looks like. I mean, none of that, young man. All right. Animal protection is about to pass. Looks like it's going to do so. So let's get this vote going. Yeah, pretty landslide there. As long as it doesn't cost me money, I'm fine with it. We did gain environment pretty significantly there, but income has gone down. Physiocratic Party wins the election yet again. Let's take a look at seats. So we've got 22, 20, 19. It's a little bit closer now, so all three of the parties have some semblance of power. We have goodwill with all three parties, so we could get things to happen if we wanted them to. My biggest concern right now is just the our financial situation. I could raise taxes, but you know, I'm not a big fan of that, obviously.
I have always claimed Americans didn't want a drink as bad as they wanted the right to take a drink, if they did happen to want one.
Okay, let's go to the progress cloud. So, we have done everything in the first tier. So we're good there. And the second tier, I'm going to just go through them really quickly, but let's see. Representation rights. No thank you. But we get the book publishing, law, and courthouse. We've got central hospital, toilet paper. Well, that would be nice. And food store. Electricity, this is kind of self-explanatory, but we get electrical power plant. This is probably going to be rather expensive considering how much a lot of the other services we have so far cost. Or we could get a university and do some edicts that I would probably like from a role-playing standpoint. So let's go ahead and start the research on Statue Mania. Okay. Now, money is going up. I think it is time, though, to pass maybe a little bit of tax hike. I want to see where our taxing is right now. So, we're 12 and 14%. I might raise that 1% for each population. The reason I'm doing that is to pay for these services I'm giving you guys. You have to pay for this nonsense. It does not look like it will be a very popular vote, though, so I may have to use some of that goodwill. And this is probably going to be the end of my tax hiking, but we do need a little bit of cash here. Okay, so it looks like our parties are pretty much where they fall. We've got left, right, and in the middle, right where they belong, except, you know, switched in orientation because approves over here. Let's go ahead and go with OK. And we are going to try and get this to pass. So we'll peel the parties. We'll start over with these guys. And we'll just do a little bit of a shove. And I'm going to voice my opinion in the city council to get them to move. And we do get them to move by 2. I think. I may have done that a little bit too quick, but I thought that's what we got. And then we'll do these guys a little bit harder. We'll demand. You want to make okay. The future of our city depends on your choice. You need to understand how important that this vote is. So we'll say that. Your friendly relations with the Free Democratic Party made some of the councilors agree to help you. So we've lost a little bit of goodwill, but we gained big there. So right now it's still leaning towards no, but we will hammer on these guys until we get it. So I could get these guys more over to the left, but I mean the right, but I don't think that's really worth the political maneuvering. Oh, you know what? I haven't really thought about it. We can do some things here, can't we? We can, because we have photography, if you remember, there was spying. These guys here have been a little bit problematic to deal with. So let's spy on them. Cost me 20,000 of my personal funds. I have a decent amount of personal funds, so that's not too bad. And we'll spy on these guys, see if we can dig up any dirt on them to get them to do what we want them to do. We might not get it when this vote is going on, but we'll see. Okay, vote to modify taxes. Enough time's gone by that we could probably start shifting this. So, appeal parties. We need to come over here and plead with these guys again. So you plead with the National Party. You say, please support me because I really want to fix this issue. So they've shifted over big time. +3, but we did lose 1 goodwill with them. Okay. Still is against because these guys are really going to be against it. And the party's a little bit more equal now. So now it's time to threaten them. This situation demands extreme measures. How will you threaten the Free Democratic Party if they don't support you? Block the next vote they want to pass, or make their life in the council a living hell. It's going to really hurt my goodwill, but it really convinced them. Huh, it's still saying no on the vote. That doesn't seem right. Alright, well, we'll have time go by, and we'll see what happens, but we have these parties a little bit more towards where we want them. We really need this vote to pass, so I am willing to force the situation a little bit more here. All right, so let's plead with you guys again. I really want to fix this issue. All right, they go a little bit more that way. And then these guys we need to really hammer on one more time, so I'm going to demand with them. And we'll say this. It didn't help too much, but hopefully enough that it's tipped the scales here. That might be enough. We'll see once we get to the end of the voting. But I did burn a lot of goodwill doing that. Alright, so here's the vote. It does look like it's going to pass, although we did have to hammer that pretty hard. Let's begin the voting. That's the one vote we've had to take so far that I had to hammer the most on. But it was important, so let's exit and come back. And we'll start seeing that income come in. There's the 28, now up to 30,000. Okay. I am going to pass gas over here. So, out of curiosity, what is all of this? Commercial building contain... Huh. I don't know what these icons are, and they're not going away. Is it just that, oh, there we go. Company bankrupt. Okay, so we're having a little bit of issues with stuff over here. All right. I'm going to modify this district. I'm going to add gas. And I don't think I can afford this yet, but we'll at least activate it. It's going to be $11,000 a month. I'll confirm that infrastructure. And we're going to confirm the services. We have more services here, but I'm not going to do any of them just yet. And that's going to be it. I'm going to pay with my own money for this one, so that we can save up. Question of nationalism. Question of nationalism. There is serious disagreement inside the National Swarulian Party. The radical young Swarulians want Swarulia to demand full independence, but the conservative old Swarulians find this too radical and are content with autonomy. What do you think? Young Swarulians pose no danger, so I'm going to support the old Swarulians because obviously I'm pro-empire. And effect. Knowing that you support the old Swarulians, many people choose to support them rather than the young Swarulians. So, ooh, we had a party split. All right, so citizens are more likely to vote for this party. So, old Swarulian party plus 25, and the young Swarulian party, citizens are not likely to vote for them. So, let's take a look at this. What's going on with our parties here? Political support. All right, so that hasn't happened yet, but we more or less have gotten a hint that there's maybe going to be a party split here. All right, well, we'll have to see how that works. It's going to make politics a little bit more interesting. All right to stand in court. It is hereby proposed women be allowed to give testimony and face accusers in court. Again, I'm going to say no here because of my conservative values. But if that would pass, and it may very well do so, it's going to benefit change for security for females, brain power production added to courthouse, and bonus security service to females. I'm going to oppose. But again, that's because of the conservative values and me role-playing that. Ordinarily, I would probably approve that. Not probably, definitely. But it looks like it is going to pass. Nagging in the courtroom. Government debates women's right to represent themselves. Okay, well, it looks like it's going to pass, and I'm not going to fight it. if indeed it does. All right, it's time to be a little patient for the meantime. And we're going to... Ooh, an era will change in 12 months. So it looks like we're going to... I wonder if that's based off of the just time period or the... I'm going to assume it's not the tech because it doesn't look like this is going to finish in 12 months.
Austrians, we are not. Soviets, we do not want to become. So let us be Swaralians.
Okay, it says, nationalist revolution swept across Europe. Calls for representation, freedom of press, and abandonment of multicultural empires echo through the streets from Paris to Vienna. So we had 184 prestige, city funds 893, personal funds at 80,000, brain power at 18, and it looks like we're going to be going into the second era here. Oh, we have a new family member. So we've got Simon von Filzen, son of Gerbert. Simon von Filzen followed in his father's footsteps, becoming even more stubborn and ruthless. Okay. Although under pressure from his family to produce an heir, his marriage proved childless. With divorce prohibited by his Catholicism, Simon took out his increasing frustration on his wife, Maria. Miraculously, one day a child appeared as if bestowed by God. Simon quickly crushed rumors of infidelity or adoption, with an unpleasant fate for those found spreading them. So he is kind of an asshole. All right, so he is cruel just like his father. He is cynical. So fun and church social life and high school. Well, the high school is going to go up, but the other things go down. Pessimism. You see the dark side of everything. So security is going to go up. But again, fun and social life is going to go down. And then Emperor's nominee, so we still have that carrying over. So we'll continue. All right. When the world transforms, the same happens to the people and their representatives. At the dawn of a new era, the citizen service needs grow, and there are changes in who they vote for. Okay, so voted in. We have the Young Swaralian Party and the Old Swaralian Party, and National Swaralian Party is no longer or voted out. Okay, so we now have those two parties, which they kind of gave us a hint that that would happen. And these are the service demand changes. When the world transforms, the same happens to the people and their representatives. At the dawn of a new era, the citizen service needs grow, and there are changes in who they vote for. Okay. Free Democratic Party wins the elections. So these guys are the guys that have been opposed to us in the past. All right, so party support in the city is low at the moment, but hopefully it will improve. Looks like we're meeting these demands okay, although probably not as well as we were in the past. Let's take a look at our parties. So right now, Free Democratic Party has 16 seats, but every other party has 15. The Physiocratic Party is not quite as popular as it once was, and we have negative goodwill with pretty much everyone except the Physiocratic Party. So it's going to be hard to get things done now because of the four parties. Let's go ahead and take a look at the City Council here. Actually, before I do that, I did want to take a look at... Oh yeah, it already showed me their support, didn't it? So it doesn't look like that one modifier really affected the support base now. Maybe it will in the future. It's a little bit confusing how that works, but let's go to the City Council here. Let's take a look at our two new parties. And we have these guys, which are the left conservatives from before. And then we have the Young Swaralian Party, which are left liberals. We have the Old Swaralian Party, which are very conservative and on the right. We're probably going to favor them, at least from a role-playing standpoint. And then we have these guys who are a little bit on the liberal side, but leaning towards the right. Now, in theory, these are the guys that we would be most aligned with, but they're also going to be, in theory, the guys that oppose us the most when we're trying to do things with the government. So that's another thing to consider. I just want to see. Education still seems to be the thing that they care about. Here, right to form associations and right to humane working conditions is the Old Swaralian Party. right to form associations. So both of them care about that. So they do have some things in common. And they don't necessarily despise each other after that split. Over here, so these guys are against some of the things that other people. The one thing here, mild punishment for sodomy. I guess that's the more liberal-leaning stance that they're going for that. All right, well, we'll have to see how this dynamic plays out in this new era. Okay, well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue. Finally, we can start to afford some of the services I was waiting to get. So, we have almost $1 million in the bank. We could wait to get our density up, but I don't think that's what I'm going to do right now. Instead, I'm going to go with the water pipe. I can't afford it, so we're going to have to do this through the city. $10K a month, I think we can afford that. And sewer system is very expensive. We could afford it, but not yet. We're just going to do a basic water for now. And looks like it may pass. Let's just go ahead and confirm this. You know, part of me is like, I'm not sure exactly what I should be building when. Like, small park might help, but honestly, health is the one thing that we probably need the most. And a clinic I could afford. So sometimes I'm like, is that what we want to do instead of these services? But at the same time, a sewer would help that as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead, though, and I'm going to do this infrastructure. So we'll propose the district. And I am going to just do a normal vote here. Looks like I keep the prestige. And we'll say okay. And it looks like it's going to pass. Let's just double check that. Yeah, it looks like it's going to pass. And this also looks like it's going to pass. It's a little bit harder to see where the parties lay when they're like on top of each other. All right, well, let's just go ahead. So both of these look like they're going to pass. All right, Mousehaven. Welcome to your office, Simon. It's time to take your father's place as the mayor of Mousehaven. You gaze through the windows of the city hall down the streets where men and women, nobles and commoners go about their business. What is it that troubles you the most? And it looks like we could rename our city as well. It gives us another opportunity to do that. How to preserve the God-given order? How to preserve the empire? Or nothing troubles you? Well, I think we go with preserve the order because he's cynical. He doesn't really, go with the more religious type stuff. So we're going to say how to preserve the empire because we're part of the old order or the old guard. So let's do that. So Old Cerulean Party. We get some. All right. You have a lot in common with the Old Ceruleans. You both understand that the empire needs to be strong, but the young Ceruleans, those petty anarchists, despise a mayor who respects the emperor above all else. So we're going to lose a lot of goodwill with them. So we're going to have some issues in voting. But we answered the question honestly. The bridge. And a new railroad bridge is being built. But can this bridge actually withstand the weight of a train? Member of the Conservative Party, we already had this. All right, I'll say I trust the engineers this time. That's weird. They need to fix that. We shouldn't have repeating events like this. Well, I don't know. We'll see what this one does. So we get bonus security +2. I think the last time it was maybe only +1. Some weeks later, a heavy storm causes damage in the city. The bridge, however, remained unaffected. Newspapers have lately published several positive articles about the bridge project. So if we get it again, we'll get to see what it does again, right? Oh, Statue of Mania. Let's do this event. With the rise of national romanticism sweeping all over Europe, your city administration needs to decide how to react. What is the role model for your forthcoming university? Okay, so we have Austrian Empire, Ancient Greece, or Cerulean folklore. Austrian Empire. Okay, so we gain with the Physiocratic Party, and people are more likely to vote for them, which is good because they lost a lot of seats last time. Okay, well, I think this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.